Speaking of, so this, speaking of issues that we need to solve that one side looks at and the other side doesn't. So, let's see. This one is only being reported by 12% of the right, in which this nuclear plant up in Minnesota is now leaked for a second time. I have done a little bit of reading on this. Uh, they found basically the 400,000 gallons of water through this leak. And this was actually after they fixed that first leak. This was due to just bad uh, bad repairs on the first leak. Uh, now, while they say it doesn't pose any risk to the public, right? I'll believe that as quickly as the EPA telling us that the Ohio train crash in Palestine was that was fine. Everything's fine. Everything. Oh, never mind the rainbow colored water. Everything's fine, right? So this is where the centrist in me will criticize the left. So the reason why I think that the right is sort of reporting on this, because for years the right, they're not the best environmentalists, right? Uh, they a lot when it comes to things like renewable energy, regulation to protect environment. Uh, the capitalist side in all them is saying, oh well, this is bad for big business, so we're not going to support any action that's going to uh, basically stifle business, right? No matter the social implications, no matter the environmental implications. And the left, and why I think the left is so focused on this, is the environmentalism in all this. They're not only the environmentalism, but I think that there's also what strikes me as odd is that there's also this idea that nuclear is not the way forward. So of course, the this is going to be put into a megaphone when leaks like this happen, as rare as they are. Um, and so the issue now is like we have a lot of different technologies that we can leverage, nuclear being one of them. And when you take into account the actual environmental damage done by lithium strip mining, by cobalt mining, uh, it's not it doesn't seem to me that battery power is the way forward, right? And I don't know why there are so many people that are just plugging their ears and saying, "Oh, never mind the damage to the environment we're doing mining the materials," which, hey, they're not renewable if we'll run out of them eventually, just like with oil and gas. So if we make enough of these batteries and destroy enough of these batteries and strip our earth of these resources, then what? Right? Nuclear seems to be that one uh, technology that honestly we should, personal opinion, should invest heavily in. Problem is, the left doesn't want that because they're too tied up in EV technology. The right doesn't want that because they're too tied up in oil and gas. So this is one of those things that it's hard, just like it's easy to see where TikTok might get banned, it's hard to see where nuclear will ever actually come into fruition. Not only do we have the classic examples like Chernobyl and more recently the Fukushima plant, but you're going to have these politicians that are in the pockets of these lobbyists on both sides that are representing their interests. So nuclear, not likely to ever happen. So this is likely why, again, this nuclear power plant near Minneapolis, this is their second leak in a month. I think well, no, it's like 3 months ago or something like that. This is their second leak. And this is a kind of a byproduct of them not really caring as much, because does this really hurt their bottom line? They could slap them with a fine. That ain't going to do anything. It's like the bankers that, back in 2008 basically bankrupted the economy. And, oh, what happened? Oh, here's a $200 million fine off the $30 billion you made, right? But again, I think that this is likely covered by the left because of their desire for good responsible environmentalism, as well as the blind side on the right being that, well, they don't really care all that much about the environment. Um, and so with what I've read in this, this likely will happen again with this XL power plant. Um, if two times in a couple months, and I don't know. That's one of the shames is where I'll push back on myself and say, is nuclear the way? Yes, I do believe that. Is nuclear the way in a country that is so obsessed with making the cheapest product possible and maximizing profit over basically ensuring, hey, let's not have another Fukushima. Well, that would cost too much, sir, and the shareholders wouldn't be too happy about that, would they? All right, up next, we're gonna go back to a left side blind spot.